Hi, Samantha. It's good to see you this week. I want
Hi,
you,
I'm good. It's good to see you as well.
I want to take a couple minutes just to kind of settle in, and I just want to see how you're doing this week.
I'm doing much better this week. I did take your advice from last week, and I did find a podcast for the addiction. Because I'm doing my practicum at the methadone clinic. So I found a podcast that gives both sides of the story: a person in recovery, as well as the medical historical side. So um, I've been enjoying listening and getting more knowledge base.
That sounds awesome. So it seems like you've
Yeah.
really kind of been able to turn some things around this week, it seems, right?
Yes, hopefully. Seems it's going in a positive way, but I never get too comfortable because something always challenges me.
Life can be a roller coaster, and there can be lots of rocks in the road. Absolutely. Um,
Hmm.
So let's talk a little bit about grad school this week. How's that been? Has that been a little bit easier?
Um, I'm in kind of a catch up mode, only because I got a little behind, and so this week I'm getting everything caught up. So time management has gotten away with me,
Okay,
away
yeah.
from me.
Yeah, it feels like you're falling a little bit short, or that's kind of been
Yeah.
weighing in on you. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Sounds
Um,
like, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, with family obligations, work, and the practicum, it takes up a lot of time, and sometimes I don't have time during
Right.
in a day to get things done
Yeah,
outside of yeah.
seems like just like a lot of pressure from both the
Hmm.
school and then from the home life, or maybe even yourself too.
Yes, yes.
Um,
Most of it, I think, is from myself. Although,
mhm,
I do have pressure from the school. When you're in the practicum situation, you're being monitored by the
mhm.
people at the practicum as well as the school officials. So you want to make sure that you're doing your best even when you're not at your best.
Absolutely. No, I can see where you're coming from. I was going to say from previous sessions, we had kind of identified that you were a little bit of maybe like a high achiever. You
Hmm.
had good work ethic, but now it seems like maybe things are just catching up with you, and you've hit your limit. Is kind of what it sounds like.
Yeah, usually when I do that, or usually when I get into where I'm behind or I'm playing catch up, then usually burnout happens, and I'm just trying
Hmm.
to avoid that because once burnout happens for me, I don't want to do anything. I just want to go to the things that make me happy, like my crafts or my, self care things, which is important all the time. But
Hmm.
when I'm in burnout, that's all I want to do. And then I don't want to get behind. Or I don't want to get behind again, I should say.
Right after already catching up and then just
Yeah.
experiencing that burnout. It's a really hard place to be. And sometimes, like you said, it's hard to get out of. You're kind of set in that and just kind of gravitate towards little things.
Hmm.
But when something that you're used to brings you meaning, that's very helpful. Like you said, self care. So maybe trying to incorporate little self care activities throughout the day so that you are incorporating them, not until
Hmm.
the last minute, but trying to eliminate that burnout feeling.
I do intentionally do self care throughout the day. So I make sure that I stay hydrated and I drink my daily allowance of water. I do get out for stretch breaks. I do, that kind of thing. I don't always have time for crafty things, but I do
Mm-hmm.
though. I do intentionally do things throughout the day that help my physical well being at least.
Right. You're being really honest with me right now about that.
Mhm.
And I can tell how much that you do care about being well and taking care of yourself. So it makes sense that this time you kind of feel a little bit painful or a little more stressed out when it seems that you're not meeting your own standards or maybe the practicum expectations like you were explaining. I'm wondering if, how long do you get for lunch breaks?
I get a half an hour, but in the practicum setting, I have that full half hour to myself. So that's really
Mm-hmm.
decompress. At
Right.
work, however, it's like in a working lunch or a
Okay.
working dinner. So I don't actually get to go up and go someplace else to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm at my desk answering calls, doing all the, the things that are required for the job. So, because most times I'm by myself. So,
Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of all put on you.
yeah.
All right. I was just trying to brainstorm and think of maybe some ways that we could try and incorporate the crafts or maybe other activities that you don't get to do a lot during that
Well,
time.
at work, about 8:30ish at night, that's when the hospital, shuts their doors and,
Okay.
no one can come in.
Mm-hmm.
Visiting hours are over. And so from 8:30 to 10:30 which is when I leave. I sometimes can do my crafty things because no calls, no, I don't have
Mm-hmm.
patients to check in unless the floors need discs or they're calling crazy. I usually can do it then. So
That's
I
all.
try to as much as I can.
Yeah, because you deserve that space to rest and you deserve that space to still feel like yourself and feel worthy and not experience that burnout, even when you're not producing or performing, or even when you are, right?
Right.
Exactly. Hmm. Um, so I want to ask you, what other kind of coping skills do you have? Do you ever play like games on your phone, perhaps?
Oh yeah, I have lots of games on.
Okay,
Yeah. My
awesome.
I have ADD as well, and so my
Hmm.
brain will go to them. And and I have like TikTok. I have social media and stuff to watch those video, the short videos,
Hmm.
and you can get lost in those.
I was going to mention that. I was going to say you got to be a little bit cautious with those because you
Hmm.
can find yourself continuing to scroll and just kind of be in that doom scrolling time, especially when you're kind of close to experiencing maybe that burnout for the day. You're just kind of reached your limits.
Hmm.
But I like that you have some games on your phone because sometimes it it seems like you're at an office or a desk where you can kind of sit a little bit. So having that next to you may be a little bit beneficial to just take that break and kind of play maybe a
Hmm.
game or so, something that maybe you could do. Multitasking, because you did say that you have that ADD, so sometimes we need multi-stimuli to really focus in on one thing. So I like to hear that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I tend to go for the crafty things only because
Yeah.
doing thing keeps me awake, and
Mm-hmm.
like the scrolling on the phone makes me tired sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
especially when I had a lot of sleep. Um, because I'm running on fumes sometimes, with school and everything. So I try to keep things at work. I do have books to read, but sometimes even that, even though I enjoy it, it'll put me to sleep depending on how much sleep I've gotten. So
I know it's kind of that like those repetitive behaviors with the scrolling, whereas the crafty or kind of interactive games make you
mhm,
think and use your
mhm.
hands and kind of keeps you awake and going
Yeah.
and falling in. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the diamond painting is a repetitive motion too, but it seems to keep me awake more than um,
Mm-hmm. Well,
scrolling
'cause
on
that
TikTok.
has that's kind of similar to like paint by numbers, correct?
Yeah, it's like paint by number and cross stitch had a baby, and it turned out to be a
Right.
diamond paint. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you have
Mm-hmm.
to pay attention where you're putting the
Mm-hmm.
colors and stuff. So,
Exactly. So you're still kind of using that cognitive thinking, and that's
mhm,
what's keeping you awake. It's not only that repetitive behavior, but you're thinking like, oh, this color goes with this number, this color goes over here. Maybe you like
mhm,
do a section and then move on to the next section. When you start to
mhm,
feel that you're kind of getting in that repetitive behavior, you're kind of lulling into that sleepiness, right?
mhm.
That's awesome. All right. Well, Samantha, let's try within this next week, before we meet again, to have you try and incorporate those a little bit more into your schedule. maybe this will help you kind of get back into that time management, have a little bit more energy or focus into deadlines, assignments, and then it also just tasks in general at your workplace and your practicum. What are your
Sounds good.
thoughts? Yeah.
I will definitely, yeah. Anytime I can incorporate crafty things, I'm all for it.
Absolutely. Awesome. It was great to see you again today, Samantha. Have a great
Nice
week.
to see you. You too.
I'm trying. Okay.